Alright guys, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to react to a video called Is Being Fat a Choice? Alright, somebody sent this video to me, thought it would be like interesting to react to. Of course I'm very excited to watch this video because I love talking about this. I honestly like talking about the fat acceptance and people thinking like just, oh, I can't do anything about being fat. And maybe there is a small minority of people who really can, but a small minority. Not everybody has disorders or diseases or anything like that. And more than half of the population in the United States, because I live in the United States. I don't know if you live in like Germany or Switzerland or something, right? But I live in the United States. Most of us are overweight. That means you are over the weight you're supposed to be. So we're gonna react to this. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I guess I'll put my face cam here. Whatever.
To be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem.
Dang. I don't think that's normal. It's not normal for me to wear a tank top if I'm 300 pounds.
Or skinny is a choice. Agreeers?
Okay. And he's fat.
Of course, not every factor is purely choice. I don't think that every factor is, but I do think a majority of it is. And in most cases, for most people, being skinny or being fat is about willpower.
Yes.
About the environment you grow up in, sure, but who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you, all of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
I know what I do with my body. I know what I put into it, day in and day out. I choose not to eat some days. I choose, how I want to look, and I don't fault anyone for how they want to look or how.
Agreeers?
Yeah. Okay. Now let's bring in the disagreeers, please. What do they have to say? Are they all fat? No, one's skinny. No, too skinny.
I felt like as a toddler, I always viewed myself as big. I grew up in a very poor home. So where my mom couldn't provide the meals that she could healthily.
Okay.
So when we would get free meals, even then, it would be canned food, and it would be very much food that's not as edible. It was food for us, yes, but then I felt like once it reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices, I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating, and I was only eating grapes and lettuce.
That's still her fault. You said I was old enough to make the right choices, but you were conditioned in the environment. That's still your fault that you're not picking the right foods. And yeah, okay, maybe you got bad foods because you were poor, but just, I don't want to say starve, but you're overeating still. Eat enough of the canned foods, and then don't eat any more. Your mother should be taking that away from you if you're getting too big. She was the one who was supporting you at the time, right? When she was poor and you guys were living together.
And that was mainly because I was in a sport, and that sport just worked me out so hard. And it was to the point where I just was scared to eat. I didn't like it. I would only drink water.
When you were eating grapes and lettuce, were you thin?
I was the thinnest I could be.
Were you still big though?
I was still big, but that was the skinniest I've ever been.
Interesting.
And that's coming from somebody who was only eating somewhat salads that are just fruit and lettuce and water and maybe ice right before a practice.
I want to see exactly what she was eating, because there's no, if you were that starving yourself and you were working out a lot, you're burning a lot of calories and you're not consuming, so you're gonna lose weight. Yes, your metabolism can slow down the more you starve yourself from food, with crash diets and stuff like that. Even though I'm a big crash dieter, I personally enjoy it, but still, you're gonna lose weight. People who are starving in Africa, they're not fat and you're oh yeah, I don't eat any food at all, my body stores it in for survival. No, they're super skinny. I feel like she's lying.
That your body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way. So if you are fighting yourself to lose weight by not eating, over exercising, and you are damn near killing yourself to be at a specific weight, your body's unhappy.
They're wise.
There's a thing called set points. There's a ton of research on it.
Set
that
points.
Your body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way. So if you are fighting yourself to lose weight by not eating, over exercising, and you are damn near killing yourself to be at a specific weight, your body's unhappy.
It's important to note that a choice can be harder for people to make due to conditions in their life.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's still a choice.
I want to say something right here. All right, so she's saying that because her body likes staying at a certain weight, she like tries not to fight her body. Dude, your body doesn't want to go to the gym and lift weights most of the time. Like, my body be getting tortured, but it gets stronger, and then I feel a lot better, and I'm able to do things. Another thing too, when I was really fat, I did not want to lose weight. I wanted to eat brownies and cookies and pizza. That's what my body wanted. And I said no. I went on a diet where I just started eating right, ran a lot, went to the gym, and I forced it to lose weight. And now, it doesn't want to get super fat. Because I trained it to be healthy. Like, stop listening to your body. Listen to what's right.
Rather be skinny than fat. Can the agreeers please step forward?
I would rather be skinny than fat. Only two. There's no way.
I think there's a lot of different struggles when it comes to being a bit bigger.
Hold up, there's no way I would rather be skinny than fat. Only 3 people stepped in. So the guy who was like really skinny, he wants to be fat, and even if he wants to gain weight, he literally said there's days where he starves himself. Eat a burger.
And I have a sister that is very, like, she's 400 pounds and she struggles a lot. She has lymphedema, and to shower is really, really hard.
If I was skinnier, at least that's one less thing I have to worry about. But also, I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm taking care of them. And as you pointed out, I definitely think that I'm at less health risks if I'm a skinnier person, if I'm a healthier person in that capacity. And I would much rather be that so that I could be around for my kids longer.
Can the disagreeers please step forward?
This guy is tough, bro. That fat guy, like, even though he's fat and it's still his fault, he knows it's his fault. Like, that guy is cool. He knows it's his fault, and he knows he needs to change. I don't know why he hasn't done it. Maybe he's just super busy and he doesn't want to put in the work for that. But still, like, he's at the right mindset. So, like, I don't have any, like,
I'm speaking as someone
whatever,
who actually
talking.
was a former smaller person, and I had the most body insecurities when I was small. I was constantly living in fear of gaining weight and having people tell me, oh, don't gain weight, don't do this, make sure that your weight is the same. And once I finally gained weight, I realized that, first off, life wasn't over. I didn't feel any need to not engage in life the previous way that I had, and the attention that I got was different. But even as a smaller person, you get negative attention. And rather than trying to control my body to avoid that negative attention, I would prefer to address the situation as a society, make it more accessible for everybody to where we aren't feeling like I have to be a certain way that's normal in order to be treated like a human being and respected.
If I could counter, because I was a bit bigger when I was younger.
She's countering.
And that's when I was the most insecure. I would look in the mirror. I did have family members that were skinny, but then I had a family member that was much bigger. And just the way that I perceived myself, I hated it. And I even became anorexic to, like, not be big.
And that's the thing too. Like, I hate when they say this too. They're like, oh, well, I was, like, you know, insecure about when I was thin. You're telling me you're insecure about being thin and in shape? How are you insecure? How are you more insecure of you being in shape, or at least being skinnier, than if you're fat? That doesn't make any sense. Me? Okay, like, maybe, let's just say I have insecurities, right? Let's just say I'm insecure about, I don't like the way my nose looks, right? Well, at least I'm not fat. At least I'm in shape and I don't like the way a certain part of my body looks. At least I'm in shape and I don't have another thing added on to my insecurity. How are you insecure? You're more insecure than if you were fat, which is automatically known to look worse. Everyone knows being skinnier looks way better than being fat. And you're more that's mind blowing.
I don't think skinny always equates to being healthy.
Exactly.
That's true.
Fairly skinny. I 6'5". I'm 140 pounds last time I checked, and I'm severely underweight.
I weigh more than
I
him.
know about this on a day-to-day basis. That being said, I don't know where I'd want to lean at an appropriate weight level, but I think it's important to understand for some skinny people, we're not living a great life by any means. And sometimes I feel like that's always kind of lost in translation when they see someone who's really skinny.
I guess it depends on what you mean when you think of the term skinny. Are you thinking of just like an average weight person, or are you thinking of how you are now?
I'm the average weight for like women in America.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. She said she's the average weight. That is huge. Dude, that is humongous. She's the average weight. Well, the last time I checked, the average weight was 5'4", 170 pounds for a female. Dude, I'm 5'4". I know I'm male, but I weigh 140-ish. Well, 140 to 145, like around that range. That's why he said 140, and I'm like probably like, what, 142? Last time I checked. But you're 170? Like, let's just say she's 30 pounds heavier than me, and I'm a pretty strong person for my height, but like, that is a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight.
About an average, like I'm gonna be the closest. If your biggest priority is to be in a smaller body, you need to reassess your priorities.
Yeah.
Not focused on health.
Yeah.
And the immediate tie between skinniness and health, like you emphasized, there is such a gap between the research, because the research has a huge fat phobic bias in it, and there has been
Did she just say the research has a huge fat phobic bias? A huge fat phobic bias. So you're telling me the research is against fat? If it's research, shouldn't it just be purely facts? Okay, you might have a hypothesis about like certain, I don't know, theories. I mean, I studied science in high school. I don't remember too much about that, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, like you're studying things, making predictions off of logical facts, and are you saying like the facts are fat phobic, or the people who are studying the facts are fat phobic? This is just basic knowledge. How are you gonna say the research is fat phobic? That makes no sense. It's the truth, and you don't want to accept the truth.
research that shows that they aren't, even especially during, like, say, COVID and the correlation between obesity. They rushed through those studies so fast because in society's mind, oh, of course a fat person is going to equal someone who's going to get sick faster, is going to get sick easier. It was an easy jump. So they didn't do all of the testing that they were supposed to do. They didn't check their bias.
So
They
if
didn't
by
check.
saying the study is biased, you're saying that the study didn't account for the variable that obesity may also take a factor into. It's just that there's so many variables in humanity that these pharmaceutical companies could only account for so many during their trials, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're biased.
Fat shaming is worse than skinny shaming.
So I do agree that fat shaming is worse than skinny shaming. Just overall, entirely, the way that people like comment on people's weight compared to somebody skinny, they usually don't comment on somebody skinny. They don't think they're
Well, because they don't think there's anything wrong with them. And on top of that too, why would you make fun of a skinny person? Like, well, I kind of get like if they're, I don't know, if you're trying to beat them in a fight and you're like, bro, you're a stick or anything like that. Like, that's different. But like, fat shaming is like mandatory. Like, you need to lose weight or you're gonna die. Skinny shaming, what? Like, bro, go eat a burger. Oh, okay, I'll eat a burger. Like, how is that? How are they gonna take offense to that? I used to be super skinny myself. Eating like 5,000 calories, still wouldn't gain weight. Eventually I did. I just started gaining weight. But even so, it's like, dude, it's not as bad, man. I would rather be underweight than overweight any day because I'm stuffing myself with a bunch of food. But like, yeah, like being fat, like fat shaming in general, what I'm trying to say, that is mandatory. People need to lose weight. They can change it. It's not as hard as they're trying to make it seem. They just like eating a lot of bad foods. So fat shaming is mandatory. Skinny shaming, like, why are we shaming skinny people? Besides like beating them in a fight, and I don't know. I don't even know how I would shame a skinny person.
Getting piled on just at different varying degrees.
I think we're conflating two things as well. So there's a difference between fat shaming and fat discrimination. Fat shaming is an aspect of fat discrimination, but some of the things you were touching on are specifically societal and systemic fat discrimination that goes into
They put
our
plus size
medical
under her
systems,
name.
into employment. It goes into all of our civil rights as fat people. That skinny people don't necessarily have that same issue. And I come from cultures where they straight out called out skinny people. Oh, you look like bones. Oh, flaca. All of that. So I watched my cousins go through it. I went through it when I would get too skinny.
Yeah, I actually have some family. I don't know if it's family members or just some people. They're like, "Oh, you're real bony. You gotta eat bunch of rice, chicken." Yes, and it's like, I can't take offense to that. It's like you're calling me bony and skinny and weak. Like, I look great. Whereas if I'm fat, let's just say you have the opposite thing, right? Let's just say you're fat, and people are like, "Oh, you need to lose weight. You're getting too big. You don't look good. You're gonna die faster." What are you gonna do? Be like, "Oh, well, I look good. I got this. I'm fine." No, you can't, because you're not. It's totally different. Fat discrimination, like, bro. My gosh, not gonna react to the whole thing of this, cause like probably like copyright policy or something, and I'll get like shot down by the IRS. All right, not sure if it works that way. It probably doesn't work that way. But yeah, that was some is being fat a choice. This was a very interesting video. I enjoyed it a lot. Would like to watch more, but yeah, don't want to get copyrighted, and I gotta go. So stop being fat.